Hi guys, welcome to our show. I'm your host Sudeshna, and today we are in conversation with Poojita Nair, who joins us from Bangalore. And Poojita, she's an amazing artist. She's into energy healing. She's into counseling as well. So welcome Poojita. Thanks a lot for joining us and deciding to open up about your own mental health journey, which is borderline personality disorder, bipolar, and ADHD. So, guys, let's chat with Poojita and let's know more about borderline personality disorder. So, Poojita, when were
Thank you so much.
yeah, welcome. So, thanks a lot again. And I know it's extremely difficult for you to open up about your own journey. And yeah, thanks a lot for deciding to talk about it. So, when were you diagnosed with BPD?
So, firstly, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity and for that wonderful intro you had given me. And yes, the question is when was I first diagnosed with BPD? So, I was first diagnosed with BPD at around age 23. Prior to that, at age 16, uh, I was clinically depressed.
Okay.
So I wasn't new to mental disorder world of mental disorder. So I was 23, and that was the first time I was admitted, and I was very nervous because after the 10th day of admission, they will tell us what the diagnosis is. Throughout those 10 days, we have to go through different procedures for them to know whether I am borderline or not. So when they did say that I have borderline, I looked up online and there were such bad comments about it. There were such nasty things written about it that I didn't want to talk about my disorder. I didn't want to share because I was too scared. And there was a existential crisis as well because, uh, the certain symptoms of borderline were like my identity, like being impulsive. I did get angry really quick, and I was always called too sensitive. So all these things were actually, I thought it was my identity, but they turned out to be my symptom. And it was very difficult for me for the first few years of borderline to accept what is me and what is uh, borderline.
So, what were your symptoms which made you think like you need to seek for help? You need to go to doctors and seek help. What were your initial symptoms on that?
Initial symptoms were like my first reason why it's my parents took me to the hospital, so I did not know what exactly was my symptom, but it was very obvious to everybody that there was something wrong. My symptom was anger surges. Like suddenly I would get angry. My mood was fluctuating really quick, and you know, I the uh, impulsivity was also there, but it was harmless. It was harmless, and the extreme of borderline. Like if you're happy today, then tonight you will be extremely sad. And those were my symptoms, my first symptoms where they thought, yeah, there could be a problem. There is also a major symptom called fear of abandonment. So
Mm-hmm.
I never understood what that was for a very long time. Like I used to wonder, what do I really have it or not? But then when I looked into it, I realized I don't I don't make I don't like if I have a friend, a new friend, and if I know that friend is perfect for me, I will not be her friend after a certain point of time because I'm too scared that she might reject me.
Okay.
So I won't. Yeah. So my attachment was very fluctual. Like it was unpredictable. So I would avoid good meaningful relationships because I was scared that they will reject me. And I never, with any close relationship, I wouldn't open up and talk about my emotions because I was scared that, they will not understand. And
Mm-hmm.
if they do understand, also, what if I screw it up and they leave me? So, in when I see my pattern, it's all finally going down to fear of abandonment.
Mm-hmm. So fear of
So,
abandonment is one of the symptom of borderline personality, right?
and yeah, and plus, I don't know why most people don't talk about this. Shame is one of the worst feeling you experience with borderline personality because you do everything spontaneously. Sometimes we end up making a fool out of ourselves. So, um, you know, so sometimes we might have not even made a fool out of ourselves, but then we are so critical about ourselves and our action that there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of shame. There's so much shame that I don't step out of my house for 3 4 months
Okay.
because I feel shameful, too
Painful.
embarrassed. Yeah. So shame is one of the another one, and feeling of emptiness and loneliness. We experience that little extra. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like as if uh, we don't have skin, and even somebody touches us, it's like it burns. So
Okay.
the emotions are really raw on us.
Mm.
So
So
that's
I
the
believe you were working that time. I believe, right? You were at your workplace, and what about that? Your work, your professional life. Could you please tell us?
yeah. So I was a graphic designer. I was doing extremely well there, and then suddenly, after a few, like I worked there for 2 years, and suddenly I started feeling this um, intense sadness, and I would go to the bathroom and I'll be crying for hours together. Then I won't be able to do my work because I'm not able to focus. And there was so much uh, not able to sit there for too long, and uh, there was so much of difficulty for people with, especially people with ADHD and borderline personality. Working is a big challenge. We cannot really, what do you say, timelines, deadlines, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlines are nasty for us because we can't do this. Either we finish it really quick or we are too slow. And we do have a good quality called hyper focusness. So if we like something, we focus on it so much that we can sit on it for days together.
Mm-hmm.
But not always you will have projects where you it is interesting for you, no. So there is a lot of struggle to work in front of computer for longer period. For us, work which involves movement, work which
Mm-hmm.
involves uh, spontaneity, things like that, works very well.
Okay, okay. So, and can you please tell us a little bit about your diagnosis part, like how doctors were and how they they came, like they how did they decide about that it's a BPD and you have bipolar as well? So the diagnostic part, if you can just elaborate.
So look, so there was a there we still think that sometimes, like, because borderline personality disorder and bipolar, they're almost say, I mean, they have a lot of common symptoms.
Hmm.
But- and very often people get misdiagnosed
Okay.
because of it.
Did it happen
But
with you that misdiagnosis?
no, mine. I thought for a very long time. I actually thought that it could be. I just wanted to get rid of the whole tag of borderline because I didn't like it. Because people were more accepting towards bipolar. They were all more responsible when it comes to talking. But when it comes to borderline, people were mean. So I didn't want that, disorder. So I would try my best to like convince my doctors that I only have bipolar and not borderline.
Okay.
So, but then as I grow older, I am able to sense the difference. It's like a sea, okay? And my um, my borderline personality disorder is like waves. It
Mm-hmm.
comes and goes, and the bipolar is like a current. It's very deep. It comes from inside. So that's how I started identifying. This happened only recently. For
Okay.
many years, I didn't know how to identify.
So Pujita, tell us like how do you manage with it like on your daily life? How about your mood swings? How do you deal with it on daily life? And what about any suicidal tendency and all?
Oh, yes. So people, there's a huge amount of people who die uh, because of borderline. Because borderline personality disorder, the people have more of the suicidal tendency, and most of them do commit suicide. So plus bipolar is not a easy journey as well. So and then the ADHD. So I like most people, I also lose hope in life sometimes. Or sometimes it gets too painful,
Yeah.
and I just want to escape at that point of time. Just escape. That's all. Just escape that pain. So uh, I sometimes hurt my own self, uh, and I feel better. And sometimes I have in past, I did have a lot of few attempts of suicide as well. How I manage it is when I'm going through that point of time, that period of time, there is no stopping. Like because nobody knows what you're thinking. So I get everything ready for it, or I plan properly, and then slowly I just I tell myself, like there will be two different types of people who emerge during that point of time. So there's one person within me who wants to just leave the whole thing. There is another one who says, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that. Okay. At that point of time, call me selfish, I don't know. I'm not able to think about my loved ones and how it is going to hurt them and all that. At this point of time, and when I'm okay, I can think about all that. But at that point of time, I'm not able to think beyond my pain. So what I try is I try to procrastinate. So I say, okay, I have got all these things ready. Uh, let let me wait till night when everyone is sleeping.
Okay.
And then when it is night, when everybody's sleeping, then you start crying and you feel bad and all that. And then you say, okay, fine, I'll put an alarm till 3 o'clock morning. I'll so
That's very
and in
painful. I can
between.
understand.
Now when I talk about it, it sounds so silly.
No, but
But at
yeah,
that
I
point of time,
understand. Yeah.
it is very real. It's very real. And then there is some other person inside me who says, no, contact my sister, contact my mother, contact somebody, tell them. And the minute I tell them, I am taken to the hospital. And it is a norm that if you are suicidal, you have to stay under their watch for at
Hmm.
least 2 3 days. So that happens, and I do feel better. But when I hear things, I mean, when I hear my mother's perspective, when I hear my sister's perspective on all these things, I feel really bad. I feel so helpless. Yet I want to make sure I don't do it ever. But I also know when I reach that point, I'm not able to think all these things through.
So your family is very supportive, or what kind of support you get from family and friends, Pujita?
So my family learned how to be supportive. Nobody comes with a manual saying, okay, if you have a daughter with so many disorder, you should be doing this. But literally, my parents taught me how to, uh, patience. I learned a lot from their action towards me, and I taught them a lot also. So we come from a fairly conservative family, but today I can say we are not anymore very conservative because we are very accepting of a lot of things today.
That's
We
great.
can have a talk about suicide, or we can talk about my self harm, or we can talk about so many things. I mean, our view has broadened,
Mm-hmm.
and when challenges happen within your house, that's when our view gets broad enough, because we are very accepting towards our own self. So that's how it is. It's good. Friends, I nobody understood borderline or my disorder for a
Yeah.
very long time, very long time. They would say, be happy, don't be sad, and all that. And and it used to upset me a lot because I couldn't find someone who can understand this, because I would like to talk about this to somebody who understands, apart from my therapist. And that's when I have you as my friend.
Okay.
So you you
Yeah.
came like God sent. Whatever
Hey.
I asked for, I got it from you, and
That's
you've been such a great friend. And today, if I'm able to talk about all these things, it's only because you have encouraged me to talk about all this. So thank you, Sudeshna, for being
no
that
problem.
friend.
I feel
And
super
everybody
enhanced.
deserves somebody like her. Everybody deserves a person, especially with disorder. You understand things as much as I do, and I see that most of the time. And you might have not even gone through it, but yet you understand, and that's not
Absolutely.
easy. Yeah, so
So,
I'm very fortunate to have you.
okay, let's talk about your medicines. Okay, what type of medicines you take, and how many medicines you take? Can you just elaborate that part?
Yes, so basically, um, I don't remember the year, but few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I attempted suicide by overdose of
Okay.
medicine. So for 2 days, I was unconscious, and my head was swollen. It was a very scary situation, and nobody knew what was happening. So um ever since that, I'm not told what I'm having. I'm not given the responsibility to have my own medicines. I'm handed over my medicines are handed over by my mother, and she should see me eat, and then only she leaves. So I can't give you answer to that question because of this.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So next segment we'll talk to your sister as well to understand how should family react regarding mental disorders and all. But before that, like I would like to ask you more, like if you want to add anything more, like side effects of medicine, anything like weight gain or pimples or anything else you want to add about it, or
Yes. There are like plenty of points I would like to add. Is um, so I'm also a counselor today. So
yeah.
what I do have my clients who come with disorders. They claim to be having a disorder, and what I see is most of them, they self-diagnose,
Hmm.
and they think they can manage it, and they must be going through terrible times with their emotions and all that. And I would say, why don't you just go to the doctor? They will give you the right medicine, and it's like it's such a relief, if you go to a doctor and when they give you the right medicine, it half of the problem is sorted. So, and plus, we don't, assumption is a very wrong thing when it comes to health,
Hmm.
mental or physical health. Assuming will not work. So, I strongly believe that people with any health issue should directly go to the doctor, not Google. Google
Hmm.
is not going to give you the answer. If doctors are there for very good reason, they have done their MBBS and their PhD, and
Right.
that's why they're there. They have spent nearly 8 years working, studying this. So this is not, if it's not as easy as we think, we shouldn't take the responsibility of the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you should have medicines. Medicines have always helped me regulate. I've never ever missed my medicine, whether if I have to go to a party or if I have to. I always carry my medicines. So that's one thing. And then next thing I would like to talk about is, um, look, when certain medicines, they do come with their disadvantage, like their side effects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had a medicine uh, during 2018 where it calmed me down, but I put on 25 kgs. I was 53, I became 78, close to 80,
Okay.
in 1 week.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
God.
in 1 week, so I couldn't recognize myself.
Oh,
Nobody could
sorry.
recognize me. So this, maybe my sister will be able to give you details about this, because I want to know what she thinks. But it was shocking to me as well. Okay, so, and initially when I had put on that much weight, I couldn't fit into any clothes, so I would have a shorts and one t-shirt, three of them, and then I was just keep switching. And I was so, I mean, I was somebody, I'm still somebody who loves to get ready, who wears heels, and who loves attention and all that. At that point in time, I felt so good that nobody was noticing me when I went to the malls and all that. Nobody
Oh.
noticed me. I was almost invisible. I was invisible. So I was like, wow, that's a good thing. Then I was like, okay, then I should eat more and gain more
Actually,
weight.
actually, you
So,
took it in a very positive way. Usually, people don't take it like that. Even I
no,
can't
I
relate
did.
that weight gain and all. But you took it in a very positive way. That's what I felt.
No, initially it was positive. Okay, so it was fun. I enjoyed this whole phase. I could eat whatever I want. I don't have to care. And then what happened is, slowly, small things like having bath was difficult. I remember I couldn't take my clothes off because I was so fat that I would get stuck in it, and I had cried inside the bathroom. Okay,
Okay.
because half my clothes are out, and I'm too embarrassed to call my mother to help, and I was stuck there and I was crying. Okay, and that's when I realized, okay, this is not good. And plus, I had cholesterol, I had thyroid, and all that was alarming because it was increasing with time. And then the consciousness, oh, I'm not that great, I don't look good anymore, and all that started happening. Then my sister, she came up with this brilliant idea. She was like, let's do a photo shoot. I said, photo shoot, no? I was like, yeah, a photo shoot is not a bad idea. She was like, let's do this. And then she was like, she convinced me,
Hmm.
be a plus size model.
Wow.
That will be a good this thing. What do you say? Career for you for
Mm-hmm.
now. So I was like, when I saw plus size model needs to be a little more fat. Okay, so I was like, shit, I have to eat a little
You should
more.
eat more.
And but then the minute I loved myself fat, being fat, I loved myself being fat. I started losing weight. So I
Wow.
felt like body was trying to teach me a lesson, saying
Accept
accept whoever
yourself.
you are. Yeah, and your body will listen to you, will accept you
Mm-hmm.
too. So it eventually, I did not get back to what I am. I'm still fatter than what I was, but I'm happy. I'm very happy with my body. I'm always very grateful because when I see other people with other disorder, with, I mean, not mental disorder, with body issues, that way I'm blessed, or everything is functional and all that. So that happens. Then I have also, this is recent. You won't see because I have covered my face with makeup,
Okay.
but I had this really intense acne, so
Okay.
much that people would ask me if I have burnt my face. It was that bad. And if possible, we could put a picture for you to see. Okay, so that it was so bad, but then you'll
It's
have to
okay.
be
Like
patient.
if you want to show the picture, is it there next to you?
No, I don't have a picture with me right now, but maybe I'll show it to you some other time. Maybe I'll just put it up on my Instagram to show how
Okay.
things are.
Okay.
So there will be disadvantages, but you rather have a face full of pimples than a mind which is not settled, you know. I would take pimples of acne or weight gain any day over the pain, emotional pain that I have to go through. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want to remind people that these things are common and it's all right. And there's another thing is, um, I had experienced this event which I thought will be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Is uh, so there was once, I had fractured my leg,
Okay.
and they had given me a medicine for painkiller. So the thing is, whenever you go to any doctor, and if they're going to prescribe you with a medicine, you have to tell that you are having so and so disorder and you're having these many medicines, so that certain medicines don't get along well.
Hmm.
Okay, so you'll have terrible side effects or allergy.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. One second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
No, but there is somebody's trying to call me.
Okay. You can.
Okay, sorry. I'm very sorry.
No, no problem. No problem at all. Tell me.
Yeah, so we can edit that out, right?
It's okay. You can carry on. Continue.
Okay, so yeah, so what we missed was, we did not, when we went to the ortho. I think ortho is for the bones, no? So we did not tell them
Hmm.
that it is we have this problem. So there was a medicine which was allergic to me, allergic reaction, because of those bipolar medicine, and this one did not match, due to
Mm-hmm.
which I started losing my hair. And losing hair means, like, in 3 days' time, uh, I had three big plastic cover full of hair, and my hair was this thin,
Oh
this
my God.
thin.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and we had to buy a wig, so that I had to wear a wig if I have to go out. And I was very excited to wear a wig. Uh, then what happened is, but it was a very challenging times. So then we started going to different doctors, because we did not know it was because of the painkiller. We thought this hair is falling for no reason.
Hmm.
Okay, and because I had a list of mental disorder, they, they diagnosed me wrong.
Okay.
They
Okay.
they told, there is this disorder called one second, trichotel trichotelmania. Okay, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right,
It's okay. Yeah.
but it is about, it's when a person secretly or without their knowledge pluck their own hair.
Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
I knew I was not doing it. I knew it. It was not that.
Okay.
but still I was diagnosed. So I had to convince my parents, and then we went to so many other doctors. Finally, AIMS Ludhiana. My sample went to AIMS Ludhiana, and they told me what was wrong, and I was given the right treatment. So very often, just because you have other disorder, mental disorder, doesn't mean any new problem should also be linked to the mental disorder.
Okay, okay.
So people with mental disorder should uh, give the doctors benefit of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't blindly trust yourself a little more. Otherwise, I would have been diagnosed with that also. So you, the list would have been so big. But then, yeah, thankfully, we did not believe the doctors at that point of time. Then another point which I want to bring out here is when I was initially diagnosed with when I was 16, I was diagnosed with uh, depression. I think because I was a minor, and I did not have the rights to know what I was going through. So only my parents knew about it. But I had to have my medicine and all that. So that time, everybody was very upset because such a young age, so a mental disorder, and there's so much of difficulty. So my mom and all resort to.
No, not audible. Can't hear you. Unmute, unmute. Just a second. Now I can hear you. Hello? Hello?
Ah,
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, yeah, continue. Hello, hello.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you can continue. Yes.
yeah. I get really pissed.
Yeah, it's okay. You can continue.
Yeah. So
So you were
yeah.
saying
So
that
what?
you were minor that time when you felt it was it was depression, right?
It was. Yeah, I thought. I mean, I'm as when I'm looking back, I think it was a full blown depression. Okay,
Okay, okay.
and but I don't know what that doctor had diagnosed. But I was having medicine, but I did not like it at all because I was tired most of the time. I used to sleep 2, 3 days. I couldn't go to school. Principal used to call us and ask me to come to school. I was so tired. Uh, all that happened. So then we were all like all of us were like God can save us, and
Hmm.
we started going to different people, Swamijis and all that, and for solace. This is a very natural thing because when you don't know the solutions for certain things in your life, you turn towards things which you like religion and things
Spirituality
like
and all.
that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, spirituality and all that. So then we encountered this person who told my parents that I was possessed, and I had to go through a ritual to remove my demon. And my ancestors were unhappy with me, and they were punishing me and all that. And looking back, I felt like it was so wrong. I mean, for that 16-year-old child to go through that was so wrong.
It's because
And
of
I,
stigma, actually. We don't like our society is not at all aware about mental health issues and all, no much. That's why they
yes,
feel like maybe it's something demons or some something else, evil spirits and all, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I'm sure there's so many people who think that okay, God can definitely help, but you can't. God will help by showing you the right person to get the right treatment. Like that's how God is helping you, not just by surrendering it. I'm not in I don't believe in that.
Correct.
You have to get the right treatment. Okay, so if you, so that's one thing which I wanted to put like, because don't believe uh, priest, and don't believe. I went to every religion. It was not just restricted to one religion. We went to everywhere, Nakani. We went to so many places, okay, and we
Mm-hmm.
were trying to find solace. And
Solution. Yeah.
yeah, so that was something which was extremely wrong. When I think about it right now, I feel it was just so wrong. So that's one another thing. I'm just checking if I have not
Yeah.
missed any
Sure. Sure. No
points.
problem.
Yes. So I would like to also talk about the importance of communication. Um, Communication is the key factor. It could even save your life here, because I can't. We can't expect people to read our mind or assume that they'll understand. They won't. It's all right, because what we're going through and what they're going through is different. So the best thing you could do is, especially with your family members, especially with your friends, your primary caregiver, you
Mm-hmm.
have to communicate what it feels like. What is it that you're going through? What are the thought process that is involved in it? And um, you know, there's so many things you can tell them and educate them, and I'm sure they might have their opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
at least they know what you are going through.
True.
And very often they will want to know what you're going through because they're trying to help. Okay, so by telling what you're going through exactly, like when I know that, I mean, we have reached a point where if I am showing any symptom before I could realize it, my sister and my mother can notice, and they talk among themselves and they say, okay, we should change this, we should do that, and all that. But but when I am going through something, maybe exactly when I'm going through, I don't tell them, but later I make sure I keep them informed, just so that they know what is happening. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very detrimental. It can cause, it can save your life. Community. This is something which is very painful for me. It's a very painful topic, which is to know that my child could, there's a huge percentage um, of could go through whatever I'm going through, and I have to see what I have gone through, and most of the times you are helpless, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my biggest worry, and because of which, and plus also a lot of today we don't have too many men who say, okay, I am ready to get married to you in spite of all these things. Because if they say yes in spite of all these, they might be not be fully aware of the situation. Okay, so be aware of that as well. You should make sure that your partner knows what the problem is, what is that disorder do to their to us, so very well informed partner is must. And this is a decision which the partner and the person who's having it uh, should take, because it is genetics, the child can also have. So
So, Pujita, for
I
your case, I am just
yeah,
asking if you are okay to answer, then you can. So, for your
please.
case, is it genetical or is it something like
It's
for?
not genetical.
Okay,
It's not
okay.
genetics. So bipolar can happen through genetics and environment, um,
Mm-hmm.
past trauma, and all
Got
that.
it.
So that's one thing. Uh, so that's one thing which I am also debating inside, because I'm not married, and in few years time, if I'm not married, I will adopt a child, and I'm hoping that child has not come from someone who has bipolar, because I don't want to see a child go through this. It's a very sad, painful situation to be in. But anyways, I leave that to God. That time you can give it to leave it to God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's one topic. I just want them people to know that it is genetics, and um, we should find a partner who is well aware of this and completely supportive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing. And um, how did I would like to also include this. Will it be my last answer? But the question is, how did I cope with depression?
Mm-hmm.
Depression is the worst situation in this any mental disorder. Going through depression is the most difficult thing, and so I somebody wise told me this. He said, "I you can help someone else. You can help yourself by helping someone else,"
Mm-hmm.
and that has worked like magic. Okay, and that is one of the main reasons why I have taken up counseling, because
Wow.
I'm able to understand them. When I say I understand, I might have not understand 100%, but I might have understood 70%.
Correct.
So that is one thing, and by helping them, I help myself. I understand what they're going through, and I want to give them a solution, and that solution could be my solution. So
Wow.
sometimes we think harder for others. So that is one thing. And during my worst hit depression time, uh, I had worked with. I took a conscious decision to work with boys with autism,
Okay.
and
Wow.
yeah, and they go through extremes of emotions, and their depression is very severe. And when I compared my depression with their depression, mine was nothing. I was able to help them with their
Mm-hmm.
depression, and in return, they helped me. And there was a point in time I did not like men or boys or that whole male uh, thing, And
Yeah.
these boys actually helped me love men, like they were all adolescents. They were such they turned my depression around.
Wow.
And so I want you all to try helping somebody else, and maybe while you're doing that, you help your own self. So yeah, and I had huge support system, um, like my boss there. um, she supported me throughout.
Sorry, who?
Um,
I couldn't understand who.
I wherever I the place where I had worked for with autistic kids,
Mm-hmm.
my boss was very understanding. She knew
Okay. Okay.
what I was going through, and she still took me in,
Wow. Mm.
took me in. And there, I have had some very good bosses, like who have helped me with um, the most biggest challenge is to earn money by doing what you love, because with bipolar, that's the only one of the most that's the only way to earn, I feel, because it's not easy otherwise. And I have found some good people who have helped me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very grateful to that. So there are a lot of good people, and there are a lot of good people who will support you. Do not feel that you're isolated, though I'm sure you will. But if you can remember my words once, like just remember that we're all going through this, and we will get out of this together.
Wow. So thanks a lot, Pujita. It was wonderful talking to you, knowing more about borderline and more about like symptoms and how to cope up with those situations. What I like the most about you, you still practice that gratitude thing. You count your blessings every day, and you are such a brave soul to open up and talk about this. And yeah, hats off to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much, Sudarshana.
okay, so we are going to
I
wrap
mean,
up
seriously.
this session. Okay. And next
Yeah,
session
thanks
will
a lot.
we'll try to talk to Poojita's sister. So let's
Yes,
see.
that's going to
Let's
be
wait for
interesting,
that.
guys.
Yeah, that will be
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, then see you guys. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.
Bye.